Cleavers.
Yeah, so Monkeyboy's YouTube channel is the best YouTube channel. Stands independently, intersubjectively, and I'm very much speaking from the heart here when I say that.
Monkeyboy's YouTube channel is stance independently and intersubjectively the best YouTube channel. Subscribe. I'm talking from the heart.
Do you want to speak, fam?
Wait, hold on, man. Res up the guy who dropped in it because he wants to speak to you, Danny, about God's existence. Innit? That's why I was stalling you, Danny. The stalling is complete. The stalling is complete.
Okay. Well, my job is done. He couldn't prove, just before Luciana goes, he couldn't prove how God is somehow, like it's completely incompatible somehow for God to love someone and send the person to hell. That's it. So I don't even care no. Now go ahead, Luciana. I want to actually enjoy this. Let me get my popcorn.
I was saying was I was attacking descriptivism, right? Which is what you are, a descriptivist.
Yeah, okay, so are you going to have like intention?
That was the immediate
Yeah, well,
concern
we already
was,
know your POE script, bro. We don't need to like hear you yell. Yeah, so are you contending with like some type of injunctive function in like homomorphism or automorphism, or what is this here? What's your argument? I'm just curious.
Like what was Veritas? What
you have been speaking about this entire time.
So he defined good, at least a sense of good. There's a sense of good that's indispensable to love, where good is a matter of being or existence or whatever. Okay.
Just give your contention. I don't need you to say like, oh, he said that and that and that. Just summarize what your
contention is. That it's descriptivist in nature.
Okay, how is that some type of turnstile? Can you give like a syntactic entailment? You're just saying he said this, or he is this in this position.
Well, have you heard of the open question argument?
No, and I don't really care about metaethics, so just like summarize.
It's a metaethical argument.
Well,
so,
what do you mean you don't?
Yeah, just summarize. You can still.
I thought you don't care. Why would I summarize something that you don't care about? You don't care about.
I don't care about metaethics to study it. I can still understand an argument being made.
Now you just sounds like you're insecure. But look, the point is in metaethics, right? G.E. Moore is responding to a form of descriptivism, commonly known as moral naturalism, where good and bad, right and wrong, is defined in terms of things like happiness, pain, and pleasure, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, Moore says that when we construct sentences that, affirm that something is, let's say, painless or painful, okay, that it's a substantive question to ask whether that's good or bad that is occurring, all else being equal, okay? But if you're defining good and bad in terms of things like pain or pleasure, right, then the question is actually closed and it's unsubstantive, right?
And by closure, you just mean some type of closure?
Meaning that, so if I ask the question, suppose you're a husband and I ask you, well, I know you're a husband, but are you married? So that's a closed question, right? Because in the very antecedent, right, and to what's prior to the question already has the answer.
But
right?
You're all over the place. I'm so confused what you're talking about now.
I'm teaching you what a closed question is. Do you understand?
I was just understanding because you didn't use closure correctly. I don't know what you mean by.
I'm using open and close as Moore used it.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Right. So this is free education for you.
Okay, well, it's just very esoteric anyway.
It is very esoteric.
I don't need to give I don't need some type of case for it. Just define it. No,
I was trying to. Do you understand in that when you ask the question, or if you affirm, yeah, I know you're a husband, but I'm wondering if you're married. The question is closed because if you know that they're a husband, you already know that they're married. It's a silly question. It's a closed question.
Yeah, Danny's explained that right. I got it right. That's true.
Okay. Whereas an open question would be like, I know you're a husband, but do you have do you have a car? Right. I mean, there's nothing about the notion of husband that would lend itself to the fact that you have a car or not. So it's an open question. Okay. So Moore was saying, well, look, there's this move that, you're defining right and wrong, good or bad in terms of pain, let's say, but it doesn't seem to be a closed question when we ask, well, that's painful, but is it good that you're going through that, or that's a substantive question, which seems to indicate that the descriptivist account, there's something wrong with it because it should be a closed question if they're defining good or bad, right and wrong in terms of pain.
Okay, so you're just saying that
all Christians should really understand Moore's objection, because a lot of atheists say, well, look, there's pain and suffering, that's bad, and God, that's evil. But Christians, and I think very justifiably, ask, why is suffering evil? Well, if the person was to say,
good for you.
Okay,
right. If the person were to say, well, I define evil in terms of suffering, you run Moore's open question argument, right?
Okay,
In fact,
Okay, yeah, got it. I'm just
Okay.
wondering how this is going to be like some type of necessary condition for negation on God's existence.
It has nothing to do with God's existence.
So then what's the substance
Oh
of
my
this
gosh.
convo then?
Thank you. Beautiful. Now let's debate God's existence. Beautiful. Now we set the parameters.
Now it's the parameters.
Now we set the parameters. Let's debate God's existence.
Lucas slipped it in. Pause.
No, I just thought that whole time you guys were arguing theism, but whatever.
Actually, no.
The point that I'm arguing, Luciana, what I came into was somehow
I was about to say
G1 and Danny. Can you keep quiet? Who's this girl?
Wait, she's the mod, bro. Chill
She's
out.
my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend.
Oh, she's a girl. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now,
and then
what I came into was G1 and Danny talking about whether it's coherent or whatever. You might want to say I'm strawmanning Danny, but I'm just paraphrasing. I can't be asked. G1 and Danny talking about whether it's coherent for God to love someone and send the person to hell. Then we started talking about what the goodness is, which is because obviously love is willing the good. And Danny seems to say, according to what I'm listening to, is that my position, which obviously is the scholastic position, because it just is going to collapse to a descriptivist account, right? And the descriptivist account has problems, right, that come from more like a type of open question problem. And I'm saying that because the whole time when he mentioned descriptions, I thought he was talking about descriptions in analytic philosophy abstracted from any sort of like ethical consideration.
No, it is. Because the term description in analytic philosophy within metaethics has a certain usage that's different than whatever thing you read about priest, right? There's the sense of description that just means like declarative sentence.
Yeah,
right?
the reason why me and G was confused is because in my position, especially like which is the scholastic position, I'm just gonna say scholastic position, don't care. The scholastic position is that there's different categories of good, and there's the transcendental categories of good that doesn't really have anything to do with moral, ethical situations. It's just what goodness is in itself, which is being.
Okay, but you understand that. Okay, you understand.
So when you said, sorry, just let me say. So when you said, oh, it leads to the descriptivist account, I'm thinking, what the heck? Because I'm talking about what good is in itself, the transcendental. I'm not talking about like any ethical sort of good or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
You understand when in philosophy, when you say ethical or moral, those have, especially as title terms like moral naturalism. Okay, the sense of moral there is a broad sense of moral. It just basically means like axiological. Okay.
There is some confusion about what it is to be moral, like what it is for something to actually be good. But I'm just saying it in like just I kept making the distinction between because I kept making the distinction between how goodness applies to more normative situations and how we analyze goodness in itself in metaphysics for the scholastics from being. So I think it's sufficient to say, look, we're just analyzing goodness from being. If you're saying that we're analyzing goodness by the descriptions of being, which is that which satisfies such and such condition for what being is, then absolutely I could agree. If you're talking about descriptivism as a moral ethical framework, then we're not talking about the same thing, because I'm not talking about
right. I'm talking about the
transcendental good.
Right. You understand when you give an account of good, right?
Danny Veritas, man, come on, bro. Like, put the fries in the bag. Like,
who?
Let's argue about God's existence. I said, put the fries.
Let them argue about God.
Okay.
You can take the fry.
Okay.
Wait.
Hi, so it's a 1v1 God existence, bro.
So you want to talk about an argument against the existence of God?
Oh yeah, we can use some type of transcendental variable. You're talking about metaethics. So I was asking before like you started explaining some dude's theory, whatever, to me. I was talking about like objective
he's
function.
talking about the husband and the thing.
Yeah.
I understood it.
No, I mean I think I understand. Like, yeah.
Yeah, just proceed, Lucania. Just proceed.
Yeah. So anyway, would that be like an injective function, which is what I was asking at the start?
Can you talk like a normal person?
So I have to break everything down into layman.
Yes, I'm dumb. Break everything down. Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure. So it would be the descriptive or the copula, whatever. Would that be a function that maps distinct elements or instantiations of like particulars, whatever?
I still don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, so you're going to play dumb?
Yeah, I'm dumb. So explain what you're saying.
Danny, if you want to get kicked.
I'm not even asking like a gotcha if you're just going to play these atheist games.
I just don't know what you're asking me, man.
Yeah, because I'm mid-sentence and you're cutting me off. You don't know what a particular or an instantiation is?
I don't know how you're using those words together.
What are you talking? I never gave a conjunction.
I didn't say you gave a conjunction.
What are you talking about? What's so confusing so far?
Everything you've said, I just didn't understand any of it. What you're asking me? What do you want from me?
Because I said like 8 words. Can I just speak?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just asking the way you map some type of archetype, like, or you hold to ontology. You hold to ontology for good, right?
I'm already lost. What are you asking me?
You're lost on me asking, do you hold to ontology for good or ethics?
Oh, so you're just asking me, do I think there's good?
Yes. Is there a
But
being?
why couldn't you just ask me?
That's
you
just
think
a
there's good instead of doing all this bullshit?
Prerequisite. That's not my main question.
That's not your main question. Yeah, I think there's good. Okay, and?
Yeah, in what sense? Is that just conceptual? Like, do you hold a realist view? Like, I don't know.
I'm an anti-realist. So, I mean, God knows what people mean by the good, right? In general, I think it's not really easy to tell. But what I mean by good often, right, is just I'm talking about my values.
Which is, so they're just descriptive, right?
Values are normative notions.
Okay, sure, we can go with an normative notion. So again, is that going to be a notion that maps to some type of instantiation within the program?
What are you asking me? What are you asking me? Talk English, man.
Danny was trolling on children of the canyon. Danny, come on,
He's
bro.
doing that on
Danny,
purpose, bro. He literally does doing that on purpose.
bro, you have Danny, you have a master's degree. You should understand what this guy is saying to you.
Nobody with a master's degree or a PhD is going to understand that question.
That's false.
Danny, that's false, bro. You know what instantiation is, bro.
Be very clear about what you're asking.
Danny,
No, even Sunny said, I take Sunny in this position. He said he didn't understand Steve.
Danny has to put the president.
Sonny works at Burger King, bro.
You know what I'm saying? He has to put the president.
I literally repeated the thing you stated, just asking if you mean this by that, because you gave a very vague implication. So I just clarified.
What do you want from me?
I don't know
What do you want from me?
I was just repeating that.
You want money? Like, what do you want?
Bro, can you not engage? I don't get it.
I don't know what you're asking me. What do you want from me?
I was literally repeating the words you used, and you said, I don't know what that word means.
I never used the word instantiate and blah, blah, blah.
So you don't know what an instantiation is?
I don't really use that terminology. I know what some philosophers
You know what
do.
it means. I don't care if you use it often or not.
Yeah, so if I would ever use that word...
So you know what it means, but you're asking me, what does that mean?
If I were... Right, I don't know how you're using it in that context, but if all you mean is something
I'm just referring to particulars or instances of things. Of applying.
Okay, so what about them? What about them?
Yeah, so perfect. So you were understanding. You're just trying to.
I'm still not understanding what you're asking me.
That's all I've said so far.
Danny,
this is your fault.
You're doing rhetoric. I can't lie, Danny, because
all the atheists, they just start using that word as if there's something like.
Wait, Danny, engage, please. Let's try to engage.
Engage? What does he want, Lorenzo? You tell me.
That's answer his question, bro.
I want you to know what you're saying. I don't know what you mean.
Wait, Danny, do you want me to translate?
Yeah.
Okay, so Lucas.
He knows what these words mean. I don't understand.
What? You don't know. You don't know. You actually know that I don't know what they mean.
Is this just a game of like, nah, I'm not listening?
Right, that's what I'm doing, right? I'm saying how stupid saying that if I say I don't know what it means, and then say, yeah, you know what it means, well, I can just say that, yeah, I know you know.
If he doesn't know what particulars and instantiation is, just teach him.
You teach him.
Guys, let's be fair. Guys, let's be fair with each other. Danny is alone. Guys, Danny is alone. Let's be fair. Don't mute Danny.
I can take all these down, right?
Danny, we still love you.
Go, bro. But yeah, Lucas, just teach him if he doesn't know what it means, and
I was defining him that he didn't know what that meant either, but then he said...
Just ask the question again.
Just give him, like, if he doesn't understand, like, how you're using it, give an example, if you could.
Right, just repeat the question.
Yes. So when you hold to normative claims, correct? That would be some type of injective function, or is that going to be something observed, like something automorphic?
I don't know what you're asking me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is
Yo, Danny, is this your way of prevaricating? I don't understand.
Do you know what, Lorenzo, you want to translate, genius?
Oh, Danny,
do you know what he's asking, Lorenzo? Right?
Even Sonny did not understand what the guy was saying. Even Sonny said, I did not understand nothing.
Mr. Lucas, are you asking Danny?
Yeah, I can't lie, man. We're so good.
Wait, so Lucas, you're asking if his sense of... We repeat the question again so I can translate for you.
I want Lorenzo to repeat it.
Trivial then. Let me
wait. I want Lorenzo.
He's asking you, is it an injunctive function or is it something more?
This is logic.
I'm literally repeating the question.
Lorenzo, what is he asking me, Lorenzo?
Yeah.
I haven't asked the full question.
What do you mean?
He hasn't. No. Wait, Danny, in his defense, he didn't really finish
Tell
asking
me
his
what he's
question.
asking me, Lorenzo, since you're the genius here.
Okay, Danny, I'll break it down. This is easier for me, so I don't have some type of like inference cost every single second because you're asking.
Lorenzo, what is he asking me?
I'll use the words that I'm familiar with. Okay, but if you have questions, I'll clarify. Deal? But don't start saying I don't know what you mean, and then 10 seconds later,
If I don't know what you mean, I'm going to say I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, and then I'll clarify.
Okay.
Perfect. Can we have this debate or like discussion, whatever?
What do you think we've been doing?
You've been screaming.
This live is crazy.
Yo, Lucas, listen. Just define every single word that you use, so Danny can
Or
understand.
maybe just talk normally.
Yeah, do you think like when you're debating with someone that has an MA, you're supposed to speak in layman's terms without like false?
Let me just tell you, the mark of a great philosopher is being able to talk normally and not have to rely on jargon.
Jargon where? I was clarifying.
Jargon where? Are you insane?
If I'm clarifying, how is it still jargon?
Danny,
Danny, chill. Don't crash out, bro.
Okay, anyway.
Lucania, be basic. Be basic. As the most basic thing you can do, just try to be basic, man.
Bro. Okay, hello?
Yeah, what's your question?
Well, I have an argument then, because you don't believe, you're agnostic, right?
No.
You don't believe there's a necessary condition for God.
Is there a necessary condition for God?
No, I'm saying you would negate that if you're agnostic.
No, I wouldn't negate that.
You wouldn't.
Do you even know what you're asking?
So, okay. I'm saying there's a necessary condition, or sorry, God is a necessary condition, that's what I mean.
You see how you misspoke there? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah, I don't think there are any necessary beings.
Okay. Perfect. Wait, so you'd still hold to some type of modal logic, correct? Or you just deny all of modal logic? So
Look, I'm not an expert of modal logic, but there's like very basic inference rules that I'm aware of.
Any of it?
What?
You invoke any modal operators?
Yeah, I use modal operators, yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So then I don't need to go over that first. Okay, so then my argument's just going to be that any valid epistemic grounding requires a reference to something radically infallible. Do you need to define anything in that, or can I keep speaking?
You're going to have to repeat that.
Any valid epistemic grounding, WFE.
What is valid epistemic grounding?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That yeah, what are you talking about?
When there's valid epistemic...
Are you talking about belief? Are you talking about truth? What are you talking about? Are you all three?
Valid epistemic grounding in terms of JTB.
Okay, so all you meant by epistemic valid
in terms
grounding
of valid,
is
when you're
JTB.
talking about knowledge, which is going to be epistemic.
But what you mean by valid epistemic grounding is justified true belief. That's what you mean?
Sorry, what?
So all you meant by valid epistemic grounding is just knowledge.
No.
You just said JTB.
Yeah, for valid... Okay, whatever. This is super... I'll be thinking. You good?
I'm in hell.
Okay, can I make my argument? Or like... I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yeah, because I've said one thing and you're like confused on something. Like,
yes, I don't know what you're asking me still.
okay, sure, we'll go with whatever you want. Okay, so I'll break it down even further.
Please.
Pure rationalities for early operations of intellect are going to require a reference doxastically.
You're trolled, right? I'm being trolled. That's what's
How
happening.
am I trolling you? You don't know what these words mean? But you say
I don't know what you're
philosophy.
talking about.
Okay, so you have no clue of what I'm trying to say so far.
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, when you have... Okay, because it's going to get confusing later, so I'm just trying to clarify early. When I'm talking about epistemology, I'm not running tag or whatever, I see monkeyboy in the comment section. I'm talking about early operations of intellect, something like Augustinian divine illumination, okay?
I still don't know what that is.
Do you know anything at all? I mean, besides...
No, I know nothing about what you're saying.
Well, how much philosophy have you taken if you have an MA?
Let's say I'm a dumbass, right?
Language.
Okay. When we're talking about early operations of intellect, okay?
Early operations of intellect. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah, it's not going to be some type of reflection on some type of simple apprehension. It's just going to
What are you saying?
But, okay, I can't argue with someone that knows nothing at all.
Yeah,
Okay, well, the debate done. I lost. GG.
Does anyone, like, you guys have done Aristotle, so surely know basic operations of intellect. Like, I know I'm not just losing my mind here. Oh, he left. Okay.
Bro, listen.
I was trying not to laugh.
Yo, G, do you want to talk to him, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, what do you say?
You have to learn how to speak.
Hi, Danny.
Justified, no, valid epistemic.
You try to like simplify. You know what I'm saying? So everyone in the audience,
Okay,
as well as
I'll
Danny
break
can
it
understand
down.
as
I'll
well.
break it down like I'm a fifth grader talking to another fifth grader.
No, second grade. Second grade.
Second grade. My bad. Okay.
No, first grade.
He has a master's degree, but it's been time. You know, he hasn't been in uni for time, so he might have forgotten all the stuff that he learned.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so when you're agnostic, for example, so we're gonna have to use some type of Socratic question because you can't do an argument. As an agnostic, okay.
It helps if you don't mumble too, by the way.
Is my mic bad?
No,
Yeah.
it's good.
Okay. When you're agnostic, okay, like you said, you're going to negate that God is a necessary precondition, okay? Correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to have, you're not going to have the doxastic added. Oh, I forgot. Okay, you're not going to believe or have
Good. Improvement.
You're not going to believe.
Go, there you go. That was good. That was actually good.
Okay.
Yo, you can do it, Lucania, bro. I believe in you, man.
Not gonna believe.
This is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not going to believe that God is necessary. Okay, that's just
Yeah.
instituted. Yeah. Okay, so you're not going to reference God when you're talking about justified knowledge. Or
Yeah.
Justified knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So it's going to be axiomatized, right? You know what that means. You used the word.
Well, I would need an argument for that.
An argument for that?
Yeah. How are you going from atheism to you must be a foundationalist?
We're
Or
not
something?
atheism. You're agnostic. We're talking
Well, I'm
about
atheist.
propositional attitudes, bro.
I'm an atheist.
You just said you were an agnostic.
Never said that.
No, he never said. No, he never said agnostic. When you asked him that
He said
he was
atheist.
agnostic, he said no. He said no.
Then why did he agree? Oh, okay. I didn't hear them. People were talking.
Yeah, we gotta
You're
go.
atheist. You're atheist. I mean, you would still hold the same propositional attitude. You would not reference God, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. So it's going to be axiomatized, right? Because you don't have pure
I
rationality.
want an argument for how atheism or agnosticism or whatever entails that.
It's an analytical containment. I don't need a substance.
That's not how I use the terms. I don't know what you're talking about now. If you say that atheism means that you're axiomize everything or whatever, or epistemology. If you're a foundationalist, then I just don't know what you mean by atheism.
We're not even needing to go in specifics like foundationalism or coherentism, blah, blah, blah.
That's how I'm interpreting you, right? When you say that,
Bro. Oh my.
when you say that it has to be axiomized, presumably there are beliefs that are non-inferential that maybe some people might say are rational,
Okay,
right?
okay, perfect, yeah.
Danny.
Yeah, that's foundationalism, genius.
I know what foundationalism is.
Evidently not.
Danny, calm down.
Okay. So when we're talking about object level, right, propositions, like foundationalism, it's going to be different than meta.
No, I want the argument.
Gosh.
I want the
Danny,
argument.
calm down.
If I give an argument, you're going to be like, I'm lost. So why would I do that?
Yeah, right. This is part of the point. You are lost.
I said you were lost is in terms of me quoting.
No, I want an argument how you go from atheism to foundationalism.
I'm not even talking about necessarily foundationalism. I'm just giving.
How are you contrasting foundationalists from an axiomized epistemology?
All of it's going to be axiomized in terms of analytical containment, meaning that you're not purely rational, but it's still a self-referential postulate. Are you that confused?
That's compatible with foundationalism.
Okay, is it mutually exclusive?
Yeah. If you reject that they're axioms,
perfect.
right?
No, you said yes. You said yes. Okay, perfect. So give me another fundamental world view or commitment that says it's not going to be self-referential. Go ahead.
What are you talking about? Like,
you don't even. So you said no, but you don't know what I'm talking about when I've said this.
the point is that if you think knowledge starts with like axioms, right? I just interpret that analytically as foundationalism.
Good for you.
Is that so? You're saying that? Are you saying that foundationalism doesn't mean that you've axiomized knowledge or whatever?
I never said that. I said it's not going to be mutually exclusive. There's going to be a superset.
I thought you were saying from atheism you can infer.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about now.
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's break this down very simply. Okay, there's not going to be some type of biconditional between axioms and foundationalism. When I say in the analytical containment,
How are you differentiating them?
I don't need to differentiate. It's trivial.
What are you talking about? What in the world?
Well, I just repeated the things you said, but I gave her different.
I just understand that if someone says, "Hey, knowledge is derivative from axioms," that is just by definition a foundationalist view.
Okay, give me a view that's going to be some type of non-self-referential thing that's not axiomatized. Go ahead.
Well, I don't even know what you're asking.
Yeah, because you don't study any of this, but you just say, "Oh, I don't know what you mean. That's not how you work." You're so confused.
Okay, I mean, does anybody understand what he's saying?
Don't switch it to us. Don't switch
very
to us.
simple.
Don't do that, Daddy. Don't focus, bro.
G1,
Appealing to the crowd, bro.
G1, you ought to be crucified for this.
Nah, Daddy, lock in, bro.
Daddy, lock in, bro. Lock in.
Yo, lock in.
Lock in, man. All right.
You're gonna become a
Y'all have set a dog on me.
Nah.
I'm not trying to do this rhetoric thing where like it hurts my brain to like break down every single part. So I'm just trying to find like a middle ground so we don't have to do something so.
Look, let me just tell you what's confusing, right? Here's what's confusing. It's very clear, right? Yeah. You're saying that on atheism, right? If atheism is true, then epistemology must be axiomized. I want an argument for that. That's all I want.
Yeah, I would just appeal to some type of like Gödel's second incompleteness theorem, which is going to be that any set, right? If you're talking about knowledge, which is going to be some type of cumulative hierarchy, that's going to contain. Okay, I forgot. Okay, let me break that down.
Am I in a dream? Is this a nightmare?
I'm forgetting who I'm talking to. My bad. I'll break these down. Okay.
Yo.
When you have knowledge, right, that's going to have some conformity.
Is this the Cartesian demon?
When you have knowledge, there's going to be some conformity to that knowledge or that proposition towards something in reality, right? It's justified.
I just want a very clear argument. How if you're going from atheism to
I'm talking about. Bro, I'm giving a prerequisite because you were confused on the thing we were talking about earlier. Why do you want me to?
Do you know how to give an argument
earlier?
Lucas,
so then you're just going to say you're confused.
Lucas, do you know how to give an argument?
Yes.
Okay, so what's the first premise of the argument that entails?
Okay, so perfect. So you want some type of normal argument. So we're not going to do Socratic questioning, which, by the way, can entail an argument, but whatever. Okay, so premise one again. Stay with me.
Do you remember the conclusion?
We haven't even got to a conclusion. You're stuck on the first premise.
I want to make sure you understand where you're going. Right, you're going. What you're doing is you're giving an argument. What you're doing is you're giving an argument that atheists are committed to axiomizing, quote unquote, their epistemology. Now, anybody with a brain knows that that's just basically foundationalism, but you probably don't have a brain. So, but fine, it's not foundationalism. Yeah, why is it that if I'm an atheist, I have to axiomize my epistemology? Give me the argument.
It's not that you have a mandate. I'm not arguing for that or not. I'm saying
you made that claim.
Where did I say that you need to axiomize?
You said if atheists and agnostics, right? On atheism, on agnosticism, you must, right? Your epistemology is axiomized. I want you to support that claim.
Because it's not going to have pure rationality. Do you know anything about like...
I want an argument.
Yeah, okay, we can talk about Chisholm's dilemmas. I'll just reference that because this is so unbelievable.
I want an argument that gets to, therefore, atheism implies axiomized epistemology. That's what I want.
Perfect. So, first of all, you don't want questions, you just want premises.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first premise is going to be that in order to have definite and not inductive knowledge, there needs to be some type of noetically infallible source to then consume or inject that knowledge as a conformity to a proposition. Or a proposition to conformity.
Yeah, can you just not talk in word salad, please?
Oh my God.
That made sense to me.
It's very simple. I'll break it down like very simple. Premise one, if you don't know everything, then it's just going to be inductive. Correct?
What's going to be inductive?
Propositions about reality.
If you don't know everything, then it's going to be all your knowledge is inductive?
That's the first two words out of you so far. I'm just like going very simple. If you don't know everything, then you can't.
This is so dumb. I must be misunderstanding.
Okay, perfect. When you give some type of conformity to reality, right, that's going to be a universal state of affair that you're proposing, right? Yes or
I
no?
still don't know what you're saying.
If I give a universal quantifier saying like, all trees are brown and green or whatever, even if it's analytically true, it would meta-leveled, it would be inductive.
I guess I'm too dumb for you, Lucas.
He's basically saying that if you do not have infallible knowledge, then the knowledge that you come to about the things in the world are going to be inductive because you would...
But he can't be saying that. That would be so stupid to say. He can't be saying that.
That's literally Chisholm's dilemmas. What do you mean that's stupid?
Infallible knowledge. If you don't have infallible knowledge, everything's
not
inductive.
Object level infallibility. I'm talking about meta level. You can have some type of first order.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
I go a proposition, bro. Go a proposition. Let's bring another atheist.
Shut the hell up, man.
The point he's trying to get to is not all trees can be
This is not even my argument. It's just
like
the first
sakura
one.
trees. They're pink.
Like,
Sorry, what did you say, Nero?
Sakura trees.
Your
are
host,
actually
can you rise evil logic, please? Thank you.
Yeah, but you're gonna drop amongst evil logic. Who's the hell is evil logic? I can't see him on the
You have me, Lorenzo, and yeah.
I can't see the logic in the.
Danny's here, Danny's here.
G1, give me a second.
Here.
I'm calling. So I need just add me up again if someone wants to debate, or I'm assuming everyone doesn't want to.
What do you say, Lucas? You have to go.
He's calling me on my phone.
Oh, so you're gonna cut?
Add me back up if someone wants to debate because Danny's not gonna engage.
So that. Oh, damn.
No, I'm fine to engage.
But also, I need to answer this regardless because she's calling.
Yeah, I'm fine to engage. I think that what you're saying is either so stupid or so unintelligible. I don't know what to do with it.
Danny's saying
Luciana, do you believe that Danny doesn't want to engage because he thinks that he's gonna lose when he debates you, or like what do you think?
I don't even care about his motivations. I just like it annoys me when someone says I don't know what you're saying, and then I have to like give premises for a single word. Like it's so stupid. And if you don't understand, if you don't understand that to have pure rationality, you need to be purely rational, then I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Is that what
I feel like that's kind of
that's your first premise?
That's not my first premise, bro.
That's what he said earlier, and then he was negating there.
I got you like I was probably like half of a sentence of a premise, and then you just
He's saying in order to get true, precise, definite knowledge, you have to have some sort of noetic connection with the what was he saying, Luciano?
Yeah. So if you're
indignation, something.
Yeah. If you're proposing something through like a meta level claim, saying this is how we have knowledge.
Yeah.
This is meta level claim.
Yeah, so it would be about propositions themselves in this case. It wouldn't be about some type of descriptive or normative quantity we're talking about.
So, like, if I say propositions exist, that's meta level?
No, it would have to it would have to be some type of truth value operator connected.
This guy's lost. I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, it would have to be like propositions exist is true or something like that. It wouldn't just be
propositions exist? You just said that meta level claims are claims about propositions.
Just
right, and then I made a claim about propositions, and you're saying it's not meta level.
He didn't say that.
What did he say?
He didn't say the claims about propositions.
What did he say?
Without propositions. He's saying that meta level claims are analyzing propositions themselves. Is that what you said, Luciana? You're not saying
I wasn't here, so I was in my room.
Wait, but that's you're saying he said that meta level claims are claims about they're an analysis of propositions.
What makes a proposition truth? Like when we said truth operators or something like that, right?
Oh, he's talking about truth conditions?
Wait. How do you know what meta level, or you don't know what meta level is, but you know what metaethics are?
Yeah, I know what one is. I don't know what the other is.
So you don't know the basic morphology behind that.
Damn.
The root word?
Meta. The word meta.
Yeah, that's a very broad term.
No, it's not.
Well, even I know what that means.
Okay, basic thing.
I'm Angelo.
I'm asking you, give me two proponents that makes it elastic. Give me two proponents that makes it elastic. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I know what meta means. Meta.
Okay, perfect. You just said it didn't 2 minutes ago.
Damn.
What are you asking?
Because you're just running. This is why it's pointless.
Damn.
Running from what?
I made a simple thing. I gave the distinction between something being meta level and object level, like a first order proposition, or just a basic predicate.
Well, the way I understand a second order proposition is that it's a proposition about a proposition.
Yeah, we can go that way, but that's kind of vague, and I gave something more distinct.
Okay, so if I say this proposition is true, right, that's a meta level claim.
No, that's not.
Well, then I don't know what I don't know what you're saying.
It would be about the thing itself attributing some type of truth value operator to it.
I know what do you mean just truth conditions?
And an operator is not a condition.
Damn.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you don't.
I can't lie.
I'm not trying to do
that from Angelo because Angelo has like 5 IQ.
Bro, don't this way.
I call that done,
I'm not trying to run it because I know there's like probably even atheists or agnostics that
I said 5 IQ. Chill out with my boy Angelo, man.
Probably atheists and agnostics that knowledge get me. I'm not trying. I don't like being rhetoric. I'm like it. I don't know if you're being sincere when you say these words. You don't know what they mean, but then when I say the same thing later, you say, "Yeah, I know what this means."
I know how other people use it. I don't know how you use it.
Yeah, what other way would it be used? Then you would know that I'm using it wrong. You wouldn't be saying, I don't know what it means.
That's true. Hey, Danny, not gonna lie, Lucania is kind of cooking here.
Cooking, man.
Man, Lucania is cooking,
Okay, bunch of hyenas. Look, if he says, if a meta level claim is something like a second order,
he's like 16 by the way.
A second order. I'm debating with a child. Then that's great. Okay,
he's 18.
But the point is that a second order proposition, right, is a proposition about proposition. So if I say that proposition is true, that itself is a proposition. It's about another proposition. It would qualify as second order. But then he says no, right? So then what am I to do?
Yeah, you can have a satisfied equivalency relation and still have the distinction. So I can
I still don't know what you're saying.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it fits into that thing, but it's going to be a complete different sortal. That's my whole point, bro. Like,
why are you bringing sortals into this?
Because we're giving distinctions between two different categories.
Exactly, bro.
So just not qualified, bro.
All right, well, I think you're a gibberish generator.
Yeah, I'm a gibber. Okay, got it.
Unlike the world has ever seen, by the way. It's impressive.
I haven't even got to my argument. Like,
that's how impressive it is, right? You haven't even gotten to the argument,
I don't know
you've
what that
generated
means.
so much gibberish.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Can you explain?
Well, I don't anticipate that you know what it means.
I don't know what that means either.
I can tell.
Okay.
Oh my god,
But this goes really far.
This is crazy, bro.
Yeah, if we can't understand, if we can't understand each other, I don't think there's much.
Danny, why is Monkeyboy not having? Monkeyboy said, "Danny, it's probably best for you to stop talking to this guy, bro." Like, what is he gonna use?
That's yeah. Okay.
I mean, this is the gibberish generator boss, right? I don't think there's anyone.
What have I said that's gibberish, though? Like, recently, what have I said? Fair enough if you didn't know what, like, the...
I thought are you understanding what I'm saying now?
Okay, that was just... absurd.
Yeah, you were trolling, whereas when I say I don't understand what you're saying, I mean it.
Okay, yeah. So what part have I said? Can you, like, rehash? So
I can't I mean, do you want me to, like, throw up all of my memories of you, right? Like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll try this one more time, but otherwise, like, I need to go do stuff, so.
Okay.
I'll break it down very simply.
Okay, so you're going to give me the argument for why atheism entails axiomized epistemology?
We already went over that and you said you agreed.
We didn't go over it at all.
Okay, we'll do it again. Yeah, so it's going to, it's not talking about foundationalism, first of all. Let's just have that be clarified.
Whatever.
When I talk about something being axiomatized, even if it's justified or true, then I'm just going to reference Chisholm's dilemmas.
I just want the argument, bro.
Yeah, I'm giving context to what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I want premises, not context. I want premises, not context.
This is how it goes every single time.
Just give me the premises of the argument that leads to atheism implies axiomized epistemology.
Okay. To recall, I believe it's that how he exactly uses it is, one is going to be some type of interlocutor would say what propositions are true, or they would know, or no, sorry. The premises are going to be that they can't, or it's going to be a dilemma. So it's, let me actually pull it up exactly how he uses it. Okay. One is going to be that either way in the dilemma, which is the two questions of, we know what propositions are true, or how do we know what propositions are true, and how do we tell which propositions are true? Either way, they're going to depend on each other. And in that case, we can't answer the first question.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah, okay, I'm trying to, like, because I haven't read Chisholm in a while, so I'm just trying to collect. I'll try to do it more simple now, because I recalled. So,
is Chisholm's dilemma, or is it more or less the Munchausen trilemma? Is that the same? Is that
what, do you know Redrick Chisholm? Or
Roderick, you mean? Roderick?
Yeah.
Roderick Chisholm? Yes, I know of that guy. But
yeah, so then you're familiar with his, like, circle for the two questions.
Right. To me, it's just more or less the Munchausen trilemma, right?
I don't know that, dude. I don't study, like...
Well, like, either, I think it's like either knowledge or justification is infinite regress, circular, or axiom.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, so it's more or less the same, okay? Okay, what about, let's just go from there, okay? Munchausen trilemma,
we can go that way.
Okay, so how do we go from atheism to, one of those horns?
Yeah, so you would agree then that there's going to be some type of infinite domain then that would have to be accounted for, otherwise it's going to be labeled as axiomized.
That sounds like you're saying either you have infinitism or foundationalism.
No, I'm saying that it entails.
Then I don't know what you're saying.
I didn't give a dichotomy. I said it's going to entail that thing.
Okay, repeat your thing?
Okay. When you have... what were we just saying? Yeah, so when you have some type of infinite regress or something, you're going to have to account then for that infinite domain to have pure or absolute knowledge. Otherwise, it's axiomatized, right? Or it would be axiomatized because humans are finite.
That sounds like a dichotomy. Either you're accounting for...
Yeah, I made a dichotomy now because I had to clarify that...
That's the way you originally said it. I wasn't going crazy.
No, I didn't give it. I'm saying
You
now.
said
Yeah, I gave it
either
dichotomy because.
you're gonna have to account for the infinite regress, or
Okay, this is very simple. Then. This is very simple. Do you believe that humans are finite? Do you believe that humans are finite? Okay, perfect. So they can't account for an infinite domain.
How does that follow?
Because if you're not infinite, then you can't account for something infinite.
Question.
How? That's analytically true.
Well, how does it that a finite being can't account for infinite regression or whatever, right? And then I asked you, I wanted the argument for that, and then you literally defined finite. You just said the same damn thing, except replace finite with non-infinite, genius.
Well, what are analytical truths?
They're basically true. If you do the content thing, you can talk about concept of containment. If you want to say it's true by the meanings of the words, but it's just evidently not true by the meanings of the words. That if you're finite, that you can't account. That means for an infinite regress.
Okay, so give me one worldview.
I want an argument. You're shifting. You're burden shifting.
I'm not. Yeah, because this is so stupid. Like I'm not.
You are burden shifting, right? You can't support your claims. You're a gibberish generator. You're a waste of time.
I'm a gibberish generator. So perfect. So you're saying that you're contending with the idea that a finite being can account for infinite things.
A finite being can't account for infinite regresses.
I didn't say infinite regresses in regards to some like contingency. I just meant an infinite. What is an infinite regress?
A series that doesn't have an end or a beginning or both.
Right. So it would be contrasting contingency, correct?
Dumbass. 16-year-old. I forgot. Why am I talking to you?
18. He's 18.
He's 18. He's 18.
What am I hearing?
He's 18. Okay.
You just mentioned Kantian infinite regress.
I never said anything about Kantian infinite regress, right? I mentioned Kant with respect to what analyticity is, but that has nothing. Well, I don't know what Kantian infinite regresses are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. No. I meant analytical truths. Yes. Okay, I'll do it very simple again, like even more simple, bro. Because this is why I can't break things down to lower levels. Because you're just gonna say I need it lower and lower. Okay, so the argument then for an finite being not accounting for an infinite domain is that finite being doesn't, or it has an immediate predecessor.
Immediate predecessor. What the fuck is that?
Okay, so when we're talking about ordinals. Okay, bro. Like, you want a definition?
You just don't know how to talk like a normal person.
Yeah, because I didn't expect to come on here and have to educate someone on something.
I dare anyone to explain.
Yeah, and you're the atheist dude that debates these kind of things all the time. These guys are theologians.
Like you, gibberish generator. There's not one person that's brave enough to get at what you're saying.
Where are ordinals mentioned?
I don't know anything about ordinals.
Exactly. So why are you appealing to these guys that
no one
obviously wouldn't deal with that kind of stuff? Okay, can I clarify before you start saying
you're the problem?
Okay, cool. Can I clarify?
You can try.
Okay, so when we're talking about a finite being having an immediate predecessor for this cumulative hierarchy, okay, yeah, both words now, cumulative hierarchy as well.
I just want try and be very clear.
How do you know where did you get the word infinite regress from? If you don't know these terms?
I have to derive that from the mountain of trash word salad that you said.
Who have you read for infinite?
Who have I read?
Yes, if you don't know some of these terms, who have you read?
Specifically on infinite regresses? I think the only thing on infinite regresses I've read is William Lane Craig and Alex Malpass.
Okay, so you've read all right, never mind. All right, when we're talking about immediate predecessors for ordinals, right, I'll put it in very simple terms. I don't even have to go into depth because I'm just utilizing it simply. There's going to be something that is an antecedent in a placement of a set.
I don't know how this connects with the earlier claim.
You don't know what that means either? Well, I'm just defining this. I'll draw the line.
I'm
okay. I need confirmation because every second you're confused.
I'm still confused.
Do you understand? Do you understand what that means?
No, I'm actually lost. I don't know where you're going.
You're lost on what part? Or this is just cope, bro.
Okay.
This is the point of rhetoric. And now it makes me look.
It's not like anyone is brave enough to come up here and tell me what you've been saying for the last 20 minutes. No one is brave enough to do that.
Yeah, because most people don't deal with that.
We're all idiots. We're all idiots. You're the genius.
Okay, so you don't know what I mean with antecedents. Okay, so a set, you'd agree. If there's some type of cumulative hierarchy, then there's going to be multiple sets, correct?
A cumulative hierarchy. There's going to be when you name things, when there's a taxonomy, their categories break down to subcategories. Is that what you're saying? Why couldn't you just talk like that?
Because that's not the whole part of it. You were just talking about taxonomies.
Well, that's an example.
Talking about ordinals. Ordinals in the set, not the collection of sets themselves.
I don't know what. So how's that different than what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when you have the cumulative hierarchy, okay, I'm making the distinction
hierarchy,
between
you're
basic
talking about the categories
theism.
that have subcategories or sets with subsets.
That's a set. That's not an ordinal.
Okay, what is an ordinal? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so an ordinal is just referring to some type of element or object in a set, and it's just its placement.
So by ordinal, you just meant member. By ordinal, you just meant member of a set.
That's all I'm using it for. Not a member of the set, the placement of the thing
like
in the
order.
set.
So like if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, ordinal.
Okay. So it's not only the element, but it's its place amongst the other elements.
I'm saying I'm referencing a first ordinal.
So like if you take the set of natural, so if you take the set of natural numbers, 1 would be an ordinal, right? In that it's a member of a set and it's the first one.
One in reference to the thing itself, so it would be the first, second, third, fourth, whatever, blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. So like the fourth member of the set would be that's the fourth ordinal.
Yeah, for example, the fourth ordinal. Yeah,
okay.
Sure. Okay, can I get back to that point? Yeah. Okay, so for a well-ordered set, okay, which you would hold to, or any position,
a well-ordered set,
you would hold to. So it's going to be a set, or we'll just say it's going to be a set that has a least element.
It has a set that has at least one element?
A least element.
You said the least element?
Yes. A least element.
Oh, so like there's the last one.
So like it's not going to be infinitely.
Okay, I get it. So like if it's just the set of numbers 1 through 10, 10 would be the what did you say? What did you call it?
Did I call what?
Well, you
Bro, my brain is rotting now.
Okay, how in the world does this get you what you want?
It's not. You're asking me to define things.
Okay, but I'm not even seeing how it's relevant to any of the claims that you're making.
It's not. That itself, just saying an ordinal in a set is not related at all. Yes, at least number.
Remember,
whatever.
This started with you claiming that atheists are committed to an axiomized epistemology. Okay,
I'm aware.
and I still don't know what your argument is. Maybe I would be surprised if you gave all the premises that it would be even a valid form, right? Because you go on and on.
Yeah. Okay. The chat is saying like they want to talk about something else because they don't do analytics. So if anyone else has an argument, like this is just
I agree. This is stupid. That's the one thing I've understood from you.
Why are we talking about set theory?
Yeah, why are we talking about ZFC concerning God's existence, bro?
It got very.
Yo, this is funny. Also, an ordinal is not like a set.
It's defined. It is defined as a set. It's
it's a transitive set.
Ordinals. Yeah.
So he was wrong. So he was wrong.
On what?
When you told me what an ordinal was, right? You gave me an incorrect rendition.
Ordinals are transitive sets, yes, but I said that they're.
Well, you said it was the order of a member of a set.
You cannot speak. As I was defining, I never said a membered set.
Because when I asked you, is one like
a transitive set? A transitive set just means that it's going to be some type of less than relation. Or
the point is that when I asked you what it was, you incorrectly defined it. Well, everyone.
No, I didn't. Dr. Blitz or whoever that is, Sammy, they just took it differently.
You see, nobody knows what you're actually saying, Lucas.
I'm not lying.
Right? You don't know what you're talking about, right? I don't think anyone. I don't really have to go on a speech because everyone knows that you're a fraud. You're a sophist, right? You don't know what you're talking about. You just go back to school.
I literally said it would be the same thing as me saying it's a transitive set.
I'm just talking in general, right? No one has bought your sophistry.
How is this sophistry?
You can't talk plainly. You hide behind terms. You intellectually gatekeep people from understanding you, right? No one can defend you right now. No one. The best lawyer in the world would not defend you here.
Okay, yeah, got cool rhetoric. So is this what you do?
Expose sophists? Yes.
All right, got it. Well, that was fun.
Your friends are calling you to Discord. Why don't you go?
I'm curious if anybody can summarize what Lucania was trying to say, because I was trying to follow.
I joined mid debate.
Sunny can do that. I believe Sunny can do that.
No, I cannot do that. It's impossible.
Sonny's the go, bro. Sonny's the go. He can do it.
Bro, I'll pay anybody to.
We all believe in Sunny, man. We all believe in Sunny, man.
Okay, so to be clear, nobody on the panel actually understood what Lucania was saying.
I was not tracking, bro. What the hell?
Okay, so
If Sunny didn't understand it, therefore I did not understand it, man.
Lucania, the thing is you might have like a wonderfully beautiful, elegant point, but if nobody can understand it, that's your fault, not the fault of the people who are listening. Like maybe you're a brilliant philosopher, but you're a shit communicator. Oh, he left.
It's gonna be
No, seriously, guys. I don't want any. Y'all are all Christians and Muslims to get blitz. I want the truth. I don't want a lie. Is that a 16-year-old? Am I talking to a minor?
No, I don't know him, Danny, if I gotta be honest. It's the first time that I see him. Bro.
I seen him in one live where him and Sonny were talking about something.
Okay, if you're my friend, if we're on friendly terms at least, if you know that I'm being abrasive towards a minor, and I don't know they're a minor, right? You need to tell me, right? Because that's the one thing. That's where I draw the line, right? I don't want to curse out.
Well, Danny, I'll be honest with you. I don't know him, dude. People told me to invite him.
But the point is that I have a problem with cussing out a 15-year-old, right? I don't want to do that, okay? So if anybody knows that in any case in the future that I'm yelling at a little child, right, you need to let me know.
But yeah, I think he's 18, by the way. Like, I don't know if he's 16.
Okay, as long as he's 18, but still, even
Danny, I have a question, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 20 people saying that he's 20, that he's 18, man.
I have a question for Danny.
But wait, can you wait with your question? Is this debate gonna be posted anywhere? This was so funny.
Yeah, bro, somebody.
I can download it, man. It will take a little bit. And if somebody
is it
bro, just mess me.
Bro, Danny, by the way, when I discussed with him, it was the exact thing. It was the same thing that happened.
Yeah. I'm gonna get G1, Lorenzo, and those the three little pigs, right? I'm gonna get them. Okay, G1, Lorenzo.
Danny, bro, can I ask you a question, man?
What's up?
Count to 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm a good boy.
No, 0 is a number.
Is 0 a number, Danny?
Stop it, nameless.
Is there what?
Is 0 a number?
Is there a number?
Is 0 a number?
Yeah.
So why did you not include 0, bro?
I told you nameless, bro.
It's not a natural number. I was just counting the natural numbers. Is 0 a natural number?
That's debatable.
It's not a number, mate.
0 is
definitely a number.
It's a placeholder, bro.
0 is a number, bro. Stop
Dr.
playing,
Blitz, bro.
man.
I've talked to you about this before on Ian's live, bro.
It's obviously a number.
Easy.
Dude, 0 is a number, nameless. Just stop it, bro.
It's a placeholder, bro.
Wait, guys, easy. Do you have a YouTube where this can be watched? Like,
No, I'm setting that up, bro. Like, I have the YouTube. It's on my link in this in bio, bro. You know what I'm saying? I download it, then I edit a little bit, man. Then, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna post it, bro. If Danny wants
Make this your first video.
If Danny wants, bro. If Danny doesn't want to, bro, I'm not gonna do it, man. So you gotta
do what?
please Danny, man.
Post the debate.
Should I post this debate?
Yeah. Go ahead. Whatever y'all want to do. But nameless, I have a question. Is there a value for the slope of a horizontal line?
Repeat that, bro.
Is there a value for the slope of a horizontal line?
No.
There is.
No, there isn't.
Well, okay, what's the slope of a vertical line?
Just a number, innit?
Actually, in that case, it isn't a number.
It isn't a number, right? That's the point, is that we want to contrast the fact that vertical lines, there is no number that captures the slope of a vertical line. That's why it's undefined, right? Whereas a horizontal line, there is a slope, right? There is a value, which is 0.
Are you good at maths, bro?
No.
I am.
Yeah, I could tell because you think 0 is a number.
Okay. You have Dr.
Can we get a ban on this guy? Can we get a ban on this guy? What is this, bro? Get a ban on this guy.
I can't tell if this is trolling.
Bro, Dr. Blitz, I've already cooked you on this topic before, bro.
I have a hard time believing that because I don't remember you at all. You left.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get some Cheetos or something. Bye, guys.